Namaskar. Let's talk about Sati, Jauhar, and witch hunt. They say Hindus are misogynistic. They say Sati was barbaric. But before we accept that judgment, let's ask, who is saying this? The same Europe that burned tens and thousands of women alive. They stripped women naked, examined their bodies for witch marks. They were tortured, limbs torn from sockets, thumbs crushed in screws, scalded, flogged, dunked, forcibly fed until their minds broke. And then they were tied to stakes and burned alive, cheered on by mob, sanctioned by church and state. All witchcraft comes from carnal lust, which is women insatiable. Malleus Maleficarum 1487. This wasn't fringe, this was Christian Europe, this was the law. Sweden, Germany, Scotland, France, tens of thousands of women tortured, killed, and yet these were the people who came to India and said we were barbarians. What moral authority do these butchers have to civilize anyone? Now let's talk about Sati. Was it tragic? Yes. Should it be mourned? Absolutely. But it was not systemic, not scriptural, and never mandated in Sanatan Dharma. Mahabharata honors widows who choose to live. Manusmriti says widows must be protected, not burned. It was voluntary, and mostly among Rajput communities, especially during wartime. You see, many Sati cases were Jauhar, mass self-immolation to avoid rape and slavery by Islamic invaders. Let's come to the British era. Let's look at the statistics. Between 1815 and 1824, British records show 6,632 Sati cases in all of India. 90% were in Bengal. The rest of the subcontinent, fewer than 50 a year. Does it make sense? Numbers in Bengal were inflated, used to carry out their missionary work, because when it was abolished, suddenly, it completely stopped. In an era where there were no televisions and social media, everyone just got the message and accepted it. This is from the historian Meenakshi Jain's exhaustive study. Read her book Sati. Cases where women voluntarily chose Sati were discouraged, and even then, many resisted. Rani Ahilyabai Holkar's father-in-law refused to let her go Sati. She went on to rule with wisdom and dharma. We celebrate her even today. Sati was rare, regional, and in decline. But the British used it like a hammer, inflated the numbers, plastered it on every page to paint Hindus as savages, to convert, to conquer, to dominate. So yes, we mourn the widow and we mourn the witch. Both died in fire, but to turn Sati into a weapon for narrative war by those who burned their own women as state policy, this is nauseating hypocrisy. Sanatan Dharma gave us Rishikas, Acharyas, queens, poets, saints. It gave us Ahilyabai, Gargi, Maitreyi, Lopamudra. We don't need validation from those whose history soaked in screams. Don't let them rewrite our history with their lies. Thank you.